I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa with precious memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. Yes, I remember Tampa, she remembers me.
Welcome to the Tampa Natives Show. Stay tuned now for the fastest 60 minutes in cable broadcast history. Live from the studios at TBCN, the home of the Tampa Natives Show. Join your hosts, Mario Nunez, the 15-minute girl, and Steve Canella, as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shock Armstrong to Shakey's Pizza, from Braddock Street to Buffalo Avenue. Get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing your memories has never been this much fun. And now, Mario Nunez, the 15-minute girl, and Steve Canella.
Hi, Tampa Native Show fans. Welcome back to this, your Thursday night edition of the Tampa Native Show, live from the studios of TBCN. Alongside my broadcast partner, Steve Canella, I'm Mario Nunez. We'd like to welcome you tonight. We've got a very special show planned for you. Some guests that have been, Steve, what do we say, 5 years we discovered before the show?
Just now we found that out. We were doing kind of the same thing all this time, but started at the same time. And here we are now, finally having them on the show.
What took us so long? That's the only question I have to ask ourselves and our audience as well. What took us so long? Richard DiPietra and his lovely wife, Mary Ellen, his co-author, I Am a Cuban Sandwich, and currently we've got another production that's just about to open, one night only. We'll talk a little bit about that later, called Ybor Stories. You guys are in for a treat tonight. Hey, before we bring our guests on, what about them Rays, man?
Well, you know what? I used to say, remember early on I said I feel really good.
Keep saying this every week, man.
But you know what? I don't know. They've been kind of losing a few games recently.
Yeah, they lost. They got swept by Seattle.
I know.
Okay, a little sad.
But there's still time.
But they're right there. What's a long season? So let's be honest, it's a long season.
Right.
And
they're all even.
And we've got we talk a little bit about the Lightning.
Well, you know,
still in the hunt.
Hate to say this, but
still in the hunt.
It's almost like 2002 again. Now, what that means, I don't know, but it sounds good.
But we learned that last week too. Steve doesn't know
sure did.
His puck from his his forward from his defenseman. But here's what we do know: they are very, very good after a loss, which they experienced the other night, and it was kind of a bad one, 7-3. Going back to New York, they're going to have to win it on away ice in hostile territory, Madison Square Garden, one of the most premier venues, sports venues in the nation. Let's face it. But they respond well to that pressure, man.
They do.
And if it happens that it turns out to be the Ducks and the Lightning, that's going to be an amazing, amazing Stanley Cup, because both teams are big and both teams are fast. But the Chicago Blackhawks are sexy too, man. And they just won it a couple of years ago. So, hey, I'm just saying, Lightning, get it done. Lightning, get it done. You've gone too far.
You got to do it.
And you're too banged up and too bruised not to now compete for the Cup.
Go Bolts.
All right. Now look at Stevie. Go Bolts. All right. Let's also talk a little bit about birthdays, because we do that on the Tampa Native Show. Two dear, dear, dear friends, both of whom have been on our show, are having birthdays today. And we didn't know they had the same birthday until this morning when Facebook told us. So to Lynn Marvin Dingfelder.
That's right.
And to Ray Villadonga.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, you guys. We love you, and we're so happy that you're out celebrating with your friends and family. We'll see you soon, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. All right, Stevie.
That's
I don't
great.
want to waste too much time, man.
No,
because
this
we're
is
sitting there with the engines revved up, ready to go. We're like the horses in the gate, man, just waiting for the gate to open up so we can start running. Because if you know Richard, like we know Richard, there's not going to be no dead air in this studio tonight. All right, let's go ahead and bring up that 4-shot, and let's welcome our guest. There he is, Richard DiPietra, and his wife, Mary Ellen.
Welcome, y'all.
Welcome. It's so great to have you here.
Good to see you.
5 long years.
Yeah, Papa, 5 long years, but you're here now. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thrilled to be here.
Tell us what's happening, man. Tell us the latest. Bring us up to speed.
Well, we're excited. It's the Ybor Stories. We'd done I Am a Cuban Sandwich for 5 years.
Yes.
We talked about. You guys were there.
I've seen 2 of those already.
Yep, you've seen 2 of them. We talked about it before, how much we love making the most we can out of this great place we live in. Especially growing up here. Man, how great that was.
Stories.
It's tremendous.
So it's fantastic. So Mary Ellen and I have, taken all the best stories that she listened to for all those years.
30 years Monday.
30 years. Yeah, 30
Have
years
memorized
Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary Monday.
Thank you. I know you guys are close too. You and Sally are just
There you
talking too.
go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fantastic. So we started putting the stories together, and I'm a Cuban Sandwich. But we thought, there's a lot of other stories here in Ybor. Let's keep going with it. Let's see how far we can take it. West Tampa too, for that matter. We'll keep going.
Jump the river, man. Get on the other side.
Not too tough for us. So we decided to put this together, and it's not going to be just a one-man show like I Am a Cuban Sandwich was. We have 10 people in this cast.
Oh, that's
There's music.
good.
Ray Villadonga's playing music as usual.
Right.
How great is that? And young people as well as mature people like myself and everything acting. So it's really wonderful.
We have an opera singer.
We have an opera
nice.
singer.
We are, the phrase is waiting with bated breath, and we are, to be honest with you, because we've seen the first incarnation of the show. We've seen I Am a Cuban Sandwich, and for those of you that are, fancy yourselves thespians, or do a little bit of acting, or just fun play acting, or get together with the grandkids and do some things, whether it's just ad lib. To do 45 minutes worth of dialogue, an hour and 15 minutes worth of dialogue in a one-man show, that's really, really tough to do.
It is.
Rich doesn't drop a line. No. And he's moving the whole time he's doing it. So, there's a lot going on.
It's
The
an incredible
next
show.
one is going to be just that, taken to the next
Right.
generation.
Yes. So I won't have to do it all.
Right.
Or in other words, I won't be doing it all. There'll be other people there, which a lot of other.
And we don't
talented
mind you doing it all because you're highly entertaining and your energy never wanes.
That's
but
really
this is
great.
good though, because now, like any good athlete, like an actor, you need somebody to parlay with.
Right.
You need somebody to work, because
Yep.
that whole back and forth on stage, that's where the audience.
That's where it
catches
is. Exactly. The dialogue is.
That's where the juice is.
It's true.
And speaking of stories, there's no end to it. You mentioned stories a second ago. There's tons of stories still left untold. This could go on forever.
Right.
Here we are 5 years later still
I
doing
know.
the show, and
Yep.
we thought it would last maybe a year, but
Yeah.
5 years later.
And we've not repeated too many. If we have repeated a show, it's because it's been by popular demand, where our fans have said, "Hey, why don't you do another show about wrestling,
Right.
or
Yeah.
another show about highlight?"
But you didn't have to.
No,
Yeah.
because we have a line. They're in the queue.
Right,
And they
yeah.
just
In the
keep
queue,
coming
yeah.
at us. And
Yeah.
for every person that we meet that tells us their story, they bring us 2 or 3 more. So, and we're in a race against
Then
time.
it starts to
Yeah,
branch
no,
out.
we're in a
Exactly.
race
Oh,
against
love
time
that.
because we start to check the newspapers, man, because
Yeah.
you get the obits and you realize, wow,
Yeah.
we've lost another
know.
I know.
pillar in the
Wish we
community.
got them on the show.
Yeah. And that's happened to us
happened
on more than
several
one
times,
occasion.
yeah.
Listen, we've got some pictures. We would like to show some pictures. And for those of you that are standing by, because you want to say hello to Richard tonight, we're going to take your phone calls in just a little bit. We always do. And Richard and Mary Ellen have been gracious tonight, and they're going to donate to our Bolita drawing tonight 2 tickets to the upcoming show.
This is legal though.
Yes,
we-
this is absolutely
okay, all right,
legal.
I
This
was
is the Bolita that, yes. this
Can
is-
we play?
Yeah, of course. I want in on it too. So, but you got to call in tonight, because tonight we're not taking emails. So when we give you that phone number, be ready to call in. We do have some pictures we want to show you, because we want to kind of tell.
backstory,
Yeah,
right?
we want to tell the story of Richard's life a little bit. Without giving away too much, because a lot of it's going to be in the Ybor stories, and some of it's going to be all of it's in I Am a Cuban Sandwich. But we want to talk a little bit about the story that's brought him to this point in his life. And Mary Ellen's been with you for a little while now,
Right.
so as a collaborator, fellow artist,
Yep.
writer, and that's
Muse.
got to be a lot of fun too.
that's gotta be
That's got to
nice.
be a lot of
That's
fun
gotta be
too,
great.
because you're working together
Oh, yes.
on something that's near and dear to both your hearts.
There you go.
A lot of passion
You
there.
understand, Mario.
Yeah,
You
well,
understand.
I'm an artist at heart
And
too.
you bounce
I'm
ideas
an
off
artist
each other,
at
for
heart
sure.
Right, we
too.
do.
all the time.
And we've gotten better and better at, which is so great. And this one, the Ybor stories, were like, yeah, let's knock this out. You know what I mean? We're a certain part of it, and we just enjoy to do it now together. Writing it together.
And we took time to write separately too.
Right. Which is
Because the
important.
Own your
midwife
craft.
There
is
you
a
go.
woman's project.
There you go.
I wrote it with the other 3 actresses together on just woman's point of view.
What a wonderful thing y'all are doing.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
And think about it this way too, because we just experienced a loss this past week of one of the greatest, arguably, husband and wife comedic tandems.
Oh,
I
right.
know, yeah.
So Ann Mira
Yeah.
passed away this week
Really?
at 84, I believe.
They were
Yeah.
role
So
models for us.
They were
yeah.
amazing. I mean, I
Yeah.
get Merizo because,
Right.
they were always a part of our lives.
Yeah.
And thank goodness they got together and gave us Ben Stiller, because, we have
Yeah,
that now.
really.
And that's their legacy.
Yeah.
But those two, when you go all the way back, they were just in that period coming out of vaudeville.
Yeah.
They were live performers, and they wrote all their own material. So
Would you indulge me for a second? My favorite
please.
Ann Mira thing?
Please.
They're arguing back and forth with Jerry. They're doing about how much they hate each other. And she goes, if you got a pen and wrote, "I hate you," on every grain of sand in the entire ocean, it wouldn't be 1/10 of the hate I'm hitting you with right now.
That's a lot of hate.
That's just so classic. Because they build up to it.
She was Italian, he was Jewish, and you know what? That love
Fantastic.
affair lasted their entire lives.
really, it's wonderful.
And you could tell because,
great.
you know, that creative spark and that creative juice, and you guys can speak to it first person eye, when it's there,
Yeah, it's
it's
wonderful.
magic. And it
Magic,
works.
wonderful.
It works. All right, let's show some photographs,
Yeah.
and because we want to tell the story.
We'll start with number 4, I believe.
There you go.
Yeah, let's do that.
Picture number 4, and you could just narrate for us, if
Sure.
you would, Richard. Oh, I love this.
that's
I love, right off the
Jimmy
top.
the Pony,
man,
right?
right off the
Yeah,
top.
we all had a
We
Jimmy
all
the
had a
Pony
Jimmy
photo.
the Pony.
Well, not all of us.
Yeah, and ironically, when we first pulled this up and we're going to do it at American Stage, there was somebody running American Stage, Todd, who really wasn't from Tampa, and he goes, "I don't think this is really an iconic Tampa photo. I think we should get another image." I'm saying, "Man, you don't."
Man, you don't understand.
No idea.
You
Yeah,
just
no
don't
idea.
That's
know.
like saying, brother, you ain't from around here,
Yeah,
are
that's
you?
right. I didn't want to say that, but
Right?
that's the idea. But, and we stuck with it. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, we have a whole album on the Tampa
I've seen
Natives
it.
page.
It's
You seen
great,
that?
isn't it?
There's
Yeah,
like, I don't know,
Jimmy
about 100 of them? Or
Yeah, about 100 or so. And I always tell people on Facebook or something else too when they mention it, I said, check the
Yeah, if
site.
you don't believe me,
You won't believe how many are there.
Now, where was this taken?
This is my backyard in Ybor City.
There you go.
23rd Avenue and 10th Street.
beautiful.
And this is the backyard of the woman next to us with all the palm trees, and her name was America.
It's a beautiful name.
Yeah, I know,
America.
really. Yeah, but that's my backyard. And he came around to everybody.
Yes, he did.
Yep. Yeah, I was really much the horse boy in those days.
And Jimmy was
So
so
was I.
proud, man, because, Jimmy, he had it going on.
He
And
really
there was
did.
only really, there was this Jimmy, there were several,
There
but
were,
this
right.
was the Jimmy that everybody, the
Yep.
white and black.
Right.
Right.
And when he stood there, he stood
Yeah.
there so,
Yeah, he didn't move.
Yeah.
And
no,
in the
he-
close-up, you could see Jimmy actually
On his
etched-
bridle.
Yeah, on the bridle. Yep, etched in there, which is then you know you got Jimmy.
You got the real Jimmy.
And this is the family. It's my dad, my mom, and 2 of my sisters, and me as the baby there in the middle in our living room there in the same house, which is pretty cool.
How much fun did you have growing up in Ybor City, man?
Oh man,
We don't have enough time, do we?
really,
All the
we-
smells,
That's another
sights, and
show.
sounds.
Yeah, really, just so fantastic.
Yeah.
That-
It took a village to raise a child, and everybody
Right.
was involved in everybody's life.
Yep. Everybody in my family were great laughers and enjoyers of life.
Joy.
It was fantastic.
Joy
A
in
lot
the
of
house.
Joy in the time. And there was a big extended family too. Both on my mother's side and my father's side. So. a
Well,
lot
you were
those
part
things.
you were from a mixed marriage, were you not?
Yes.
Cuban
Go ahead,
Italian.
finish this, Steve.
Yeah.
Help him
Give me a
because
second.
there was that. Well, Ray Villadonga tells us that story.
Oh, really? That's
Because
funny.
because his father's Cuban and his mother is
Yeah.
what was his mother's
Italian.
Italian? Is that what
Italian,
it
I
is?
believe.
Yeah. So
Right.
and you were just the opposite,
Right.
right? So they're in the, or no, his father was from Ybor City, his mother was from West Tampa.
That's
That's
what
what
it
it
was.
was. That's what it was. So that's
That's
the
why
mixed
you
marriage.
love the
Yeah.
From the suburbs.
And it's beautiful, and it's a beautiful
it
thing.
is.
So, but that's the amalgam. That's what makes the Tampeño experience
It's fantastic.
unique
Yeah, that's the whole deal.
and special.
It is.
Okay, next photograph, because we could do this all night.
Oh, definitely.
Look at that guy.
Handsome.
Oh, I know.
Handsome young man with that flat top. What's
Well-
going on there?
What holiday do you think that is?
Easter.
I love that too.
You having your communion or what's going on?
No, Easter.
Yes,
Just
Easter.
Easter.
Yeah.
I guess.
you're
it
in-
could have been communion, Mario. Now that
Yeah,
you
well,
mentioned
well,
it.
well,
Easter
why-
closed.
The timing looks about
Yep,
right.
yep.
Yeah, right outside. My dad used
About
to
third
do this,
grade.
this trimming of those hedges. I don't know if you remember. I do this, and I'm a Cuban Sandwich, where see how he did it so
Yeah.
artfully.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Buddies of his would come by and go, "Dick, when you're done, would you
Straighten
do
it
a
out."
trim around the edge?" You know how guys are like.
Very
Sure.
detailed, wasn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, he loved doing that stuff.
Is this still Ybor City? Or was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was still Ybor City. And this is Noche Buena, huge thing in my
Oh,
family.
wow.
On Holmes, you know where Holmes is?
Oh my
What a
goodness!
wonderful
How many
photo.
Holmes
folks in
is
that
this-
picture? That's 20 people
Yep,
at least.
yep. And my dad's in there in the back, family all the way around. There I am right there with my hands up against my face. See me? Yeah, and that was just a huge, huge thing at the time.
What memories, huh?
I know, God, it was incredible.
We all
Yeah.
experienced.
I don't know if you guys
Noche
did the same kind of thing, but we all eat and did everything else in here. And then afterwards, the men would repair to the back to smoke cigars and play poker.
Yes.
Until the wee hours. You know what I mean?
When would you
Well,
open your gifts? Noche Buena, or did you wait till midnight?
We opened those gifts. Noche Buena.
Noche
you know what I
Buena,
mean?
right,
That
right,
kind of
right,
thing.
right.
But then
And
family
Santa,
gifts next
Santa
morning.
came next morning. Santa was
You
next
too?
morning. Yeah, of course.
Same here.
It's great.
That's again
Yeah.
the same traditions that that's the glue that binds
We all
us.
Right,
share
it
the
is,
same
yeah.
thing.
Because we were all doing the same thing at the same time.
I know, that's
and you
great.
Had, and
Different
you had the
places.
experience of going to OLPH,
Yes, true.
which made it even more unique because that's a subset of a subset.
Yes.
Because OLPH is no longer in existence, and
Right.
at that time, if you lived in that area, that's where you went to school.
Right.
And so you kept those classmates and those buddies, from kindergarten all the way to 8th grade.
I know that was a fantastic part.
Oh
Yeah.
man, close.
That's
Our Lady of Perpetual Help,
Yep.
or as
There was an Our Lady
Jehovah's
Perpetual Help in yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Ellen had an Our Lady Perpetual Help in the Bronx. Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
I'll be darned.
Wow.
What a coincidence that is.
That's yeah, really.
Or as the umpire Joe Viscursion would have Old Lady Poker House, which is the other acronym.
Look like Val Kilmer in
Hey,
this picture.
what's
And this is the
happening here?
Medulla's thing you were talking about.
Oh, okay.
This is Medulla's restaurant.
Oh, wow.
It was a small restaurant that we worked at on Boliche Boulevard, I think Armenia and Columbus.
Columbus and
Yeah.
Armenia.
And that was this is John Soler. I don't know if you're familiar with him all. A Tampa veteran.
Our best
My
friend.
first, as soon as he came from Cuba, the first guy I knew came from Cuba in the 4th or 5th grade, and we've been friends, best friends ever since.
He thought he was from Boston
Yeah.
because his Spanish accent was so fancy.
Yeah, he had this very, fino Spanish accent. I told him, "Are you from Boston?" He goes, "No, I'm from Cuba. I just got here." I'm like, "Oh, that makes a difference." Yeah, and this is me and the little guy Earl Flynn kind of thing.
No, man,
Yeah.
there's a little Val Kilmer
Early-
there going
yeah,
on.
pretty
There's
cool,
a little
yeah.
Batman.
Yeah.
I'm Batman Val Kilmer. I
Early
think.
play.
Maverick.
The night the Rose spent in jail. Very cool. It was nice. I used to have long hair for quite a long time. And look, this is my favorite picture of my wife, Mary Ellen. Go ahead, tell me about it.
It's at Freedom Land in the Bronx, where I'm from.
Oh, wow.
I also was at the New York World's Fair. I mean, the World's Fair in 1964. My
Sure.
grammar school
Yeah.
sang there.
Oh, that's fun.
It was exciting. Yeah, that's not there anymore. Now it's a co-op city.
Do you go back and
So
visit?
that's your formative years were spent
in the Bronx.
in the Bronx.
Yeah.
That's another show.
Right,
Yeah.
so I mean, there's a whole other show.
It
yeah.
is in a
wow.
With
We
a
don't have enough
similar,
Of course,
similar
no, of course,
Similar,
of course.
yeah.
I think Irish instead on her part. There was a
My
big Irish
family's
family, big Irish
First generation, my grandparents came over on the boat to Ellis Island, and my grandfather and my
Wonderful
parents
immigrant.
retired back there in Ireland.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, the immigrant experience that everybody attributes to being so unique to Ellis Island, we were experiencing here as
Right,
well.
Sure.
Just came from the South.
Right.
But that's part and parcel what makes the U.S. story also very
Right.
special and unique.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
What kind of Christmases did you have over there with those crazy Irish people?
Loud.
I can imagine. Fun though.
Fun.
Oh, yeah.
Again, joy,
Yeah.
laughter.
A lot of singing, a lot
Yeah,
of music,
yeah.
yeah. Fiddles and accordions.
Oh man,
Little
how
variety,
much
yeah.
fun! How much fun!
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Keep going back. Thank you.
Oh, here's my first Holy Communion.
Adorable.
Oh.
Could have got those two people together.
Adorable.
That other guy. Adorable.
That's a great picture.
That is nice. This is us early on.
In New York, we lived in
Married?
Hell's Kitchen
Yep.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
over
right.
Manganero's
Right on Ninth
Delicatessen.
So you didn't run into Al Pacino walking up and down the street or Bobby De Niro
We
because
saw
they
De
were
Niro.
they were in
He
Hell's
filmed,
Kitchen all the time.
He filmed one of
Taxi
those right down
driver.
Yeah,
the street.
we saw him.
He filmed one of them right down the street.
Tootsie was
Yeah,
down
in
the
fact,
street, too.
one night it was like, I guess 10 or 11 o'clock, and the whole, we have 3 or 4 windows on the thing.
Lit up.
All lit up.
Yeah,
We're like,
of
what the
course.
hell? You know what I mean? And they lit up the
Movie
whole
studio.
street,
Oh.
from one side like to another. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But it was great there. We had a really fantastic time.
I can
There's a
see you
family
there,
photo.
man.
It's a great photo.
Yeah, taken by Joe Joya. He's a good friend of ours. He's a photographer. He lives in Chicago now, but he's become pretty popular.
And that's our
Nicholas
son,
Ray
Nick, yeah.
DiPietra in the middle.
Who?
Yeah.
Nicholas?
Nicholas Ray.
Nicholas Ray.
I have a
DiPietra.
we have a Nicholas Ray as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Our youngest boy.
You're kidding.
Nicholas Ray Nunez.
Ah,
That is
Nicolas,
incredible.
Nicolas, but without the H because we wanted it to be
That's
kind
okay.
of phonetically.
Yeah,
so
still.
we went Nico and then Rey.
This is
But
great.
Nice.
I love
Isn't that
this.
cool?
This is
Another
fantastic.
coincidence.
It is very cool.
yeah, that was unplanned too.
And this is just not too long ago, I guess. right?
last
Pretty-
year,
pretty
my
last year?
birthday at the
Yeah.
Dolly. We went to the Dolly for
Oh,
Isn't
my
the
yeah.
Dolly special?
Oh,
man.
I haven't
so
been there
We're
in
so
beautiful.
lucky
years.
to have that here. You know, there's, man, what can you say? That's so many things. People, there's nothing to do.
Magnificent. Yeah, spend a couple
Yeah.
of days
Look
at the
around.
Dolly. Yeah, look
Yeah.
around.
I
Get
was
out
at
of
the
your house.
Ringling last week. That was great.
Oh, that's a beautiful,
Beautiful place.
Yeah, I love that terrace they have there.
Oh, I took a picture of it.
Very, very nice.
That's
There's Nicholas Ray
There you
grown.
go. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he sure is. Yep.
He's a
Yeah,
good
this is-
man.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He's
has-
our house manager for the show.
Right. He takes
keeps
care
us
of
in
Get a
line.
chance to
He
meet
takes
him.
care of business.
Yeah,
So
he's
he's
got the
good.
headset on, and he's just he's getting things going.
So we keep it in the family, which is great. Yep.
Makes it easy to coordinate everything too,
Yeah.
right? Could you just tell Nick we need
This
to
is
do
a great photo here, huh?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, this is my love of the Cuban bread. Why not? Like I said in the play, there's nothing else like it in the whole world.
There is not.
There's not.
No.
Yeah, you know, you go to Miami, and like I said in the play too, try Cuba. Forget that. You're not going to find anything even close to a Cuban bread.
You know,
like
any
this.
sandwich they make in Cuba, theoretically, is a Cuban sandwich.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's made in Cuba by a
Of course,
Cuban.
yeah.
But, you know, it doesn't have the
That's
story
like Chinese
behind it.
food, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's-
Yeah, but
Comida
it's-
China.
Right, but not even close. And this is a great poster by Matthew Rayfield. He's a son of Jim Rayfield, who directed I Am a Cuban Sandwich. And he and I have been working together for like about 40 years, Jim and I, in theater, just in Tampa. So, you know, that alone is a
Have you had
incredible achievement.
Have you had your readings yet, and have you started your rehearsals?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're
underway?
in the middle of
Everything's
rehearsals
underway.
now. Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, we're about halfway through, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And you said a
Of
cast
rehearsals.
of
About 10
Well,
or
okay.
12, I think. Well,
Good.
10,
That'll
and
be
then
fun.
Ray
Ray.
and
his
Hector
music.
Maroyo. I don't know if you know him, Hector Mayoral.
Congas.
Ray, he plays the congas.
You know what? Ray did mention him
Right.
to us.
Ray
did
calls
mention
him Hector El Conguero. I love that.
Conguero.
And Ray's always got something for him.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so we're excited to have
So
that.
that's going to be the 20th again, one night only, ladies and gentlemen. June the 20th. That's a Saturday. Seating for about 150, intimate setting at the Creative Loafing facility there, 10th Avenue and 9th Avenue.
Ybor Square.
Ybor
Yeah.
Square, Ybor Square. So, you know, if you're thinking about it, and if this
thinking
conversation
about
that we're having currently is piquing your curiosity,
Yeah.
or you just want to come out and have a wonderful time, reminisce, and kind of just relive some of those moments with Richard and his wonderful cast, better move now. Move now. And how can they
That'll be
find them,
interesting.
Stevie? How can they find that information?
Well, they can find it on Facebook. Actually, there's two ways to do it. If you could just go on Facebook and type in on the search field, I Am a Cuban Sandwich. Well, that's for a different show, but Ybor Stories you want to
Ybor
type
Stories.
in and bring it up all the information. In fact, I think you can buy the tickets right there.
That's
Sure
correct.
can.
There's
Yep.
a link there. Is that
Right there
Nancy?
is. Yeah, take it right to it.
There you go. So, I mean, for all Tampeños, proud Tampeños, and fans of this show in particular, right? Because this is just,
Oh, yeah.
that is an extension of what we do here.
Exactly.
Celebrating our ancestors and the time of our lives growing up here in Tampa. So,
Fantastic. That's it.
I'm gonna
That's what it's
open
all
up
about.
the phone lines here.
Let's see what we get.
Yeah, let's see what
Never can tell.
we'll see what. I bet you we're gonna catch a lot of flies with this honey because we
It
got,
could be.
you know
Never
what I
can
mean. We
tell.
got a lot of honey to give tonight. So okay, Stevie, give him that number.
That number is 813-977-6800. 813-977-6800.
So if you have a question, Richard from Mary Ellen, whether it's, you know, personal question, hey Mary Ellen, what was it like growing up in the Bronx? Something for Richard. Richard, who were your pals when you were growing up? What was OLPH like? Or just, you know, a question in general about either one of the two productions.
That's right.
Call us, 813-977-6800. Don't forget to give us your Bolita number because once again, we're going to have a lucky draw. One lucky winner of our Bolita drawing at the end of the show tonight is going to win 2 tickets to the upcoming
That's
show
very
on
good.
the 20th.
It
So,
didn't take long.
no, they're getting qualified now. Hang in there because we'll be. And can we talk a little bit now? Would this be a good opportunity to talk about the four? Is it 4 different acts, 4 different
Yes,
components?
4 different plays.
So why don't you
4
go
different
ahead
acts.
and kind of illuminate some of that for us?
Start with the
Okay.
lector.
The first one's the Elector. We try to do it. We're not trying to. We're doing it chronologically. So the first one is about Elector, one of the greatest figures in Ybor, history. The guy who brought the culture to the whole deal. He read as the tabaqueros rolled. And this one brings a slice of life from that. We all know what it was like when he was in the factory. This shows him at home with his daughters, and before he gets and goes to the factory.
Wonderful,
And it's
wonderful. Nice angle.
right? It's a nice angle, and as we know, it didn't last forever.
Right.
So this is the writing on the wall as it's happening, without being too much of a spoiler. I don't think it's
Good.
going to be, but that just adds to the whole, puts more, raises the stakes in a way of the whole play. But still, it's all light. It's all comedy. It's all human interest and warm.
And it gives you a different perspective as to the lector.
Right, exactly.
It humanizes that
Right,
whole.
right.
Yeah, it humanizes and it shows you what this man went through, what he might have been like, what his family life was like, and everything else, which is entertaining as hell. Because it was an incredible position, for somebody to do.
Imagine having to talk
yeah.
all day.
I know.
Vis-a-vis reading.
Yeah, really.
At a loud voice because
Yeah,
he had
yeah.
to project.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to. my sound man just went stop. And then having to go home and communicate with your family.
Yeah.
When you're tired.
Yes.
And you have to do it again tomorrow.
And when you mentioned Lector, I think of that one classic photo we've all seen, with the Lector, the black and white photo where all the cigar makers are sitting there in rows.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I think we have that on the Facebook page as well.
He's on the platform.
On the
Yeah.
platform. But what? Yeah, you're right. What a job.
What a job.
All day long?
Wow.
Yep. All
And
day
he
long.
was an important figure. The
Oh,
cat,
man.
Oh, yeah.
The cat had a lot of swag.
Yeah, they were like
And a lot
rock
of-
stars.
A lot
Yeah.
of influence.
These guys were really like rock stars here, especially in this area. And, it's been a wonderful thing to do. They got paid really well. They lived a
Political
good life.
influence.
Political
All
influence.
of it.
Oh, man.
All of it. Rock and roll stars, like
across
you
the
said.
board.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Lector. Act 2.
It's the midwife.
Oh,
Which we had talked about earlier,
wow.
the wonderful story of Maria.
Another fascinating
Yep.
part of our heritage. Talk
Yes.
to us about that.
Maria Greco. She delivered many famous people born in Tampa. She delivered 6,000 children as a midwife in Tampa. She was born in Palermo, Italy, came over. She studied at the university there, came over here. Actually, Mayor Greco was one of her ancestors.
Oh.
She's one of their ancestors. And at the time, it was controversial. The hospitals were the doctors were a little threatened by midwives. But poor everyday people couldn't afford to go to a hospital, spend the money for a doctor, so most births were home births. And the state of Florida actually at this time demanded certification. You had to have 50 births, and you had to fill out a form and be certified by the state. And Maria did all this, even though she had more than 50 births. They would pay her with eggs or chickens. They would pay her with clothes or different things. And she would bring sometimes almost 4 children into the world in one day.
Wow.
In
Can you
Ybor
imagine?
City with no streetcars.
Yeah, that's what we wondered. How did she get around?
How did she get
Horseback.
around?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Horseback.
whatever it took.
Or a cart.
Yeah.
Maybe she had a horse, drawn,
Yeah.
drawn cart.
And our story is just one birth. We have the midwife and her Tia and the girl giving birth. And I tell you, the actresses are so amazing. After Marlene gives birth, I'm exhausted.
That's good. We
She's
can't wait for
sweating,
that.
Oh my
everything. Yeah,
gosh.
We can't wait to see that.
What a
That's
story.
going to be great.
And our midwife, Melissa, is an opera singer with the St. Pete Opera. So she's going to sing me an Italian lullaby to bring
It was
in.
really nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you hear that voice when you're on stage, you're like, oh,
Please tell me, before you tell us about the third and the fourth act,
okay.
that you've already appropriated, and if not, we can help with this as well. You've got to have somebody rolling some tape on this thing.
We
You've
hope
gotta
to.
have-
Yeah, but you-
because if you need, if you're going to put it out there, perhaps in the form of a Why Not a Live YouTube presentation,
Right.
Ustream, but at very, very least capture this on video. so
Yeah, it's
that
always
you
nice
know.
to try to do that. We try to get somebody to do it every time or whenever we can. Last time it was, it's pretty good. We have Danny Bentamilla.
If we can help you, please let us
We
know.
would definitely
because
will. Thank you so much.
We want to, that's something.
Thanks for that, Mario.
Well,
Because,
that's part of the magic of theater. It could happen just this one night, or it could go on for
Right.
years.
Either way.
We
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
We'll never know until it happens.
Until
do
it
it.
happens.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm a big proponent with the technology available to us today.
To
capture that
capture.
image.
Oh, capture that image,
Capture
yeah.
that image, because the worst thing that can happen is go, you just did a hell of a take and you go, did you get that? No.
You didn't. Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's going to be amazing. Can we take this call and come
Yeah.
right back and talk
Yeah.
about
Let's
Act
do
3
it.
and 4? Caller, thank you for holding. You're on the air, the Tampa Natives Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Robert Gonzalez from West Tampa.
Of
Hey,
course
Robert
it is. Hey,
Gonzalez.
Robert, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Doing
good.
fine, man. What have you got for us tonight?
Well, I've had an interest in live theater for a long time. I used to participate in Christian drama. And is
That's not an oxymoron, is it?
this thing, is it in Ybor City
Yep.
where these productions are held?
Yep, Ybor
Is it
Square.
in a theater or is it all outside?
Inside.
This will be inside. This will be inside the building that houses Creative Loafing's office space. And what they do is they clear the desks where the editors and the writers work, and then they put chairs out. It's a big space, a good space, and of course it's a former cigar factory. So how apropos that it's going to be housing this Ybor Stories
There you go,
event.
Mario. All right.
Is this wheelchair accessible?
Is it
Yes,
wheelchair?
there's
Yes.
a small elevator.
Yes, small elevator.
Perfect.
Okay.
So you're good. ADA is all over this building, baby. Yes, you bet.
I'm very interested in going to see this.
You would love
Well,
it.
good.
You would love it.
Where can tickets? Can I get tickets?
You can get tickets one of two ways. You can win the lucky drawing tonight. Give us your Bolita number, and you can also go on to Facebook. Get Carrie to go on to Facebook and just type in the search bar there, Ybor Stories.
On Facebook right now.
There you go. And there's a link there. And there's a link there that'll take you right into the PayPal account where you can purchase your tickets.
Okay.
All right, my brother. Well, thank you for expressing that interest. Thank you for telling us that you have been, I guess, a big fan of live theater. We know that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was, I learned how to act from a man named Tony Rivero. He used to participate in community theater in his native Venezuela.
Okay.
And he taught me how to act. And I was kind of typecast for my first play.
Uh-oh.
I was typecast from the first play on. I was the villain in every play. I was the heavy.
Oh, you were the heavy. Okay. Okay.
Right.
I got it.
This play was written by C.S. Lewis, titled "Better the Devil You Know."
Oh, better the devil you know. So what we're talking about is bushy eyebrows, deep set eyes, maybe a big heavy mustache.
Yeah.
But it's so nice.
Well, the only thing I wore was my own makeup. I never wore any like fake mustaches.
Yeah, no, of course.
And I had a full head of hair at the time.
Didn't we all?
A lot thinner than what I was, and actually healthy. I could walk around stage.
Sure.
And, you know, I could do everything I should do. And I was really into it, you know.
Well, listen, give us your bolita number right quick.
37.
37 it is. I hope that we see you that night, because if you haven't seen Richard perform, you're in for a treat.
You are.
And especially with the ensemble cast that he's putting together. We've just heard the first two acts. We're going to hear the other two now. Thank you for calling, Robert. We'll see you soon.
Okay, sure.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Robert.
See you, Robert.
Robert Gonzalez. You know, listen, I get it. Because when I was in the second grade at Henry Grady Elementary School, we did a play called The Key to Understanding. And it was about a United Nations thing and the nations coming together, Key to Understanding. And I got cast as the lead role. And I can remember, you know, it was kind of a narrator role, right? Narrator and, you know, little vignettes and little short stories. But I can remember distinctly, like it was yesterday, being out close to the edge of the stage, the front, and looking out there, seeing the people, my parents, of course, my mom, my abuela, and it just something came over me, man.
Oh, man.
This is cool.
Really?
And when it gets you hard.
really does.
And so
The
you
rest
know,
was history.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
it's true. The rest was history.
I mean, this is TV now. Theater's another medium.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's all interaction. It's all that.
It's all, yeah,
and
part of the same thing.
communication and imparting,
Sure.
you know, whatever skills you can bring to the party. So.
Yep. And you're getting to use, you know, the stuff that you were born with, that God gave you, which is great. And your
Naturally.
family helped to, you know, nurture. You're
Yeah,
getting
it's
to
a big
use
deal.
all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I mean, when you stand up on the kitchen table and you get the soup spoon and you go, to be, or not to be, first thing Mama says is, get off the table.
Right,
When
yeah.
they do this chancleta, get off the table. Tell us about Act 3.
Well, it was originally in I Am a Cuban Sandwich, but we cut it out because the show was running too long. And it's a character called Little Albert. And when the director cut him out initially, I went in the bathroom and cried.
Oh, no.
You get
I
an
was-
affinity
I
for
was
them.
so
Sure,
fond
that's
of
it.
him.
They're your
Yeah,
kids.
sometimes there are.
They're your kids.
So Richard
Birth them.
revived him. We've done it before
Right.
for the Kiwanis Club, and now we said it was actually what we built around. We had this story already, and we said let's do this. And
It's a Vietnam era story, which is, you know, is for all of us here. It was a big time and everything, but, you know, it's still an Ybor story about
Tampa
this
Theater.
great character. Tampa Theater's in there, which always features in my stuff because it was a big deal for us. My grandfather worked on the Tampa Theater, which is really cool, you know, big deal. And this is just a wonderful story of a guy, and we had a great opportunity to use him to kind of give our own idea of what went down in Vietnam era and in war in general.
Sure.
You know, and how so many people, I don't want to say bought into that, but so many people chose to feel a certain way about it.
Sure.
And it didn't always bode well, as we know.
Yeah.
You know? So this is showing the other side of it, at least I feel it will. And in a funny and great and interesting way. And I think everybody, don't you, Mary Ellen, will get to feel about Albert, little Albert the same way we do.
What we know about Richard DiPietra is he doesn't do many things that aren't funny and interesting, you know, and entertaining
Well,
as
that's
well.
so nice, and thank you.
No, come on,
Yeah.
man.
It's true.
Takes one to know one. I'm just going to say it like that. Takes one to know one. 813-977-6800 if you'd like to join the conversation. The phones are open and available to you now. Act 4.
The busker. It's a street musician. Is actually our nephew John DiPietra. He's Maggie and Danny's son, and
incredible
both
musicians
musicians,
themselves, yeah.
lifetime musicians. And we actually saw John playing at the Sweetwater Community
You guys been there?
Center.
Oh, yeah, yeah, of course.
We
Rick
loved it.
Martinez.
We loved it.
Yeah, no,
cool.
we just now,
Yeah.
late to the party, just now found out, and just now met Rick, and we had Elise Pask on here 3 weeks ago. She did a magnificent event here recently called The Rooted Door, and she did it at Rick's at Sweetwater. So
Nice.
what a great venue!
Oh, what a venue, man.
Now he's
Love
going
that.
to
So
shut it
nice.
down because in the summertime he goes on vacation
Right.
and shuts it down.
Good for him.
He's busy.
No, he's busier than all get out, but we can't wait for him to kind of, when he gets reestablished in the fall,
Yeah.
to become, more active members,
Sure.
there, whether it's
Yeah.
volunteering or just
Whatever.
being around.
Yeah, it was great.
So we saw John playing
We saw
there,
John
and
play
he
there.
was so good.
And we'd seen it before, but he's growing.
Yeah.
He's at Blake and in the
The
arts
evolution of a
thing
young
there, like,
musician, man.
man.
So we asked Jim
talent.
Rayfield, who directed Richard in that photo you saw earlier with the ponytail 40 years ago. And so Jimmy's directing our nephew in this, and we've also got another grandchild of one of the Bacanis players, which was the group that
The
they were
early
in
group that I used to
all those
belong
years
in.
ago. And she's in the busker too. So it's about a street musician on the streets of Ybor today, and the cop comes along to chase him away, and it goes from there.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's it's got a little romantic, little music, a little bit of everything.
You
Can't
have
wait to see it.
you have to have romance,
Right.
Because everything, there's always that tension, that's
Right.
any good
Yeah.
play, any good
Got it.
story has to have. But without a viable love interest, I think it just misses
Gotta have
something.
some
Right.
emotion.
Yeah.
Do we have an intermission between the four act,
No.
act
No.
1 and 2,
No,
so go straight through?
right, straight
What
through.
about the running time? What are we looking at?
It's just like around Cuban Sandwich, an hour and 15 minutes.
An
or
hour
so.
and
That's what we
15
try to keep it around that.
That's a
right
good
there.
time.
I think it is. too.
People can hold their bladders for an hour.
That's
15
exactly
minutes,
right.
because we're all getting older now.
But Mary Ellen always mentions the speech, and we'll do it here too. Whereas it's casual here. Ray's going to be playing in
Right.
between the acts,
Right.
so hey, if you have to get up, whatever, stretch, do anything,
Well, that's
it's not
great.
going to be a problem. People aren't going to be looking at you in any way.
Well, I think suffice it to say, you'll probably know 60 to 70 people. Of the 150, you'll know at least half
We
of
hope
them.
so. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's going to
sure.
be like a big
Yeah.
family reunion.
And that's a great part
in a
about
lot of
it.
ways.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, we can't wait.
Yeah, they'll be friends of
The
the family.
20th
Yeah.
can't get here soon enough, and will,
Yeah.
but it can't get here soon enough.
Yep.
Let's go to our caller on line 4. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Natives Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Mike Balua. How you guys doing?
Hey, Mike Balua, how are
Mike,
you?
we're talking about you.
Good. Good. And I just wanted to call up and to tell you how much I'm enjoying the show tonight. And, this is right up my alley. I love artistic ventures, and I have not seen the play yet. I'm anxious to see it. But
No one
the
has.
reason for my call tonight was that I wanted to share an idea that I've tossed around with you before, Mario, and I think I mentioned it to you. And then, it could be for Richard, and maybe when, in the future, he could consider this subject matter, or maybe somebody else out there who's listening. But I would love to see a one-act play, maybe a 1 hour. It takes place all in one area. Perhaps, something to do with the type of situations that we have on a daily basis at either Amaryllis, or not Amaryllis anymore, Stadium Cafe, mostly the Gallo de Oro, where the guys sit out there and talk and discuss lives. Something where you could give a whole characterization of West Tampa, just build a story and define what West Tampa is in a 1 hour segment of these characters. Scooty, Mr. Ramus, who's now deceased, all these guys who sit around the round table, Mark Biro, and just shoot what?
Right.
The breeze, man.
Right.
Chewing the fat.
Please talk.
Yep.
That's the old Facebook right there.
Right, right.
The old
Exactly,
social media.
exactly.
Mike, that's the inspiration for I'm a Cuban Sandwich.
Yep.
Growing up here, how many times did we talk, even with Scooty or with anybody else, Man, we
and,
got to get this stuff down. We got to tell them.
basis, and something like a Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah.
Everything takes
With
place
Lin-
within
Less
this
depressing.
one act, one scene around the table. It's
a great idea.
Come in and out, in
Yep.
and out. And things, historical facts are brought up about the West Tampa community that depicts who we are, what we're about.
Right. Yeah.
Could be Ybor City too, but
No.
I'm partial to West Tampa.
I think that's great. Yeah, really. And I love your stuff on YouTube, man. I've seen 2 or 3 of the songs, everything else. In fact, I've even reached out.
There you go. And if you need some music for those,
Right. Great stuff, man.
They'll do
Thank
a
you.
song for you.
It seems appropriate
Yeah.
that you should be at least in on the
Yeah.
on the early artistic impression for the soundtrack to that one-man play. Or if
Right.
it's going to be a one-man play. No, it couldn't be, because it would have to have, you'd have to have
You have to have more people. No, I think the characters would be
Is
the
what makes
part.
it. Is
Yeah,
what makes
some
it.
are driven that
And
way.
those
Characters
characters
driven.
are built in. They're
Right.
automatically there.
Right.
Yep.
You go to the West Tampa Sandwich Shop, or whether you go to Stadium Cafe, each one has its own distinct crew, but
Yes.
they're almost interchangeable.
Yeah, in
little
ways they
networks
are.
is
Yeah.
The
what they
Silver
are.
Ring and the Tropicana and the Cuatro Julio, they all, kind of.
Yeah.
And the new old guys come in and the old
Yep.
guys go out, and that's the way life is. And as I said, Mr. Ramos, he was a staple at Gallo de Oro all the time. I don't know if you know Coach George Ramos.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
sure.
We just
And,
lost
and
him
he just
a
passed.
month ago. Yeah.
He was always there, and that was the changing of the guard.
Changing the guard, exactly, Mike. You read my mind. Yep.
Yep.
Good
All
point.
right, guys.
Great idea. Give us your bolita, your lucky bolita number.
Oh, my number is 13,
Lucky 13.
and if you don't mind, let's throw in 18 on Cindy if it hasn't been taken.
18 for Cindy. Okay.
I'd love to win that play. I want to go.
Well, listen, man, and
Glad to see you
and
there.
If not, just buy a ticket. But either way,
Right.
you have to be there.
Yes.
I mean, we hope you win. You probably will win. You got a good chance, man.
Yeah.
'Cause your only competition is Robert Gonzalez right now.
All right.
And Mike, when you come to the show, definitely come afterwards and say something. You know what I mean? Let me know who you are, shake your hand, and we'll talk afterwards. We always do that at the shows.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate
Mike.
your call so much and all you do for us here at the
Yeah.
show.
Got it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You know what I like about those places
So helpful,
too?
Mike. He's so
oh,
helpful.
he's
Not
wonderful.
only did he create the song, written, inspired by the show, but he works our graphics, our opening
Yeah.
credits.
Well, even tonight,
so
Very
the
nice.
closing
When you
credits.
saw
When you saw on the opening of the
Yeah,
show,
we talked about that.
That's
That's
Mike's
yeah.
house, and that's Mike with.
That's great.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he came up with that idea, so
That's great.
Yeah.
he's got so much art. It just it percolates out of him. It emanates.
But
from
the
everywhere.
places that Mike was talking about, like Amaryllis and El Gallo de Oro, what I really like about that is the Tampano accent.
Oh,
that
sure.
that
Yeah.
everybody has there.
Yeah, what is that?
spot it a
Is
mile
that
away.
Boston? Where are you from? From Boston. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny.
Is that Ybor City? Is it West Tampa?
Is it a
Spanish?
combination of
Cuban?
West
Is it
Tampa and Ybor
Italian?
City?
I guess, well, my dad, if I'm speaking just from my dad, and maybe I don't know if you feel the same way, I feel it's kind of like all those things. Spanish, Italian, and really cracker accent.
Yes, it's-
Of
really,
course.
there is that in there.
It's a
very
Because you'll hear
distinct-
those guys say
very
that all the
distinct
time.
accent.
It's
You
an
know?
amalgam.
Very
man.
distinct an amalgam of all those things.
We've told the story before, and Rodney Justo told the story.
He's funny.
No, he's funny. and what a life, and what stories he has.
Yeah.
He was on the streets in New York City, somewhere in the '60s, mid-'60s, Manhattan, walking down the street,
Yeah.
and his ear caught that accent.
Yeah, that's right.
So we
that's
whipped
great.
around, and he said,
You're from Tampa.
Where
"Are
you
you
from,
from?"
man? Yeah.
And so I mean, it is
West
distinct, man.
Yeah,
You you hear EJ Salcinas talking, and you know that's EJ Salcinas.
Yeah.
You know that dialect is
Right.
EJ Salcinas.
It's so distinct.
Yeah.
You can hear it.
And that's wonderful when you think of it. Other people, they blow it all off because they really don't see
It's-
the
it's
whole, repercussions of the thing.
I think of it this way, Richard. See if you and Mary Ellen agree. Some people think that cigar smoke, the smell of a cigar is nasty. Oh, cigar is nasty.
Yeah.
But then my abuelo smoked cigars, and I love my abuelo.
Right, yeah.
So when I smell a cigar,
That's
it has
what
a
you
whole
think of.
different meaning.
Yeah, it
so when
is.
you hear that accent, and we're all our senses work in different ways. Some of us are olfactory sensitive, some of us are auditory, some of us visual.
Yeah.
The auditory is strong, man.
Oh, yes.
It will take you
He's
back
strong,
to a
he's strong.
place.
You know,
You hear
like
a
that.
song that you're
Yeah.
familiar with, a love song that when you were courting Mary Ellen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
You go back to that place, to that
Right.
day.
Where
Yeah,
you were,
yeah.
what you were doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, oh my gosh,
Not
we
just
got
the
more
song.
callers. Hey, callers,
Hey.
keep calling. We got a line open,
calling?
813-977-6800. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Natives Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey guys, this is Skipper from Seminole.
Skipper.
Joe Beanie.
Hey, there's Joe
Joe
Albini
Albini.
right there. How are you, Joe? Hi, Skipper.
Just fine, just fine. I wanted to comment on Richard and his performance. I got a chance to see him at the Columbia one of our events, and
Right.
he gave a little
Yeah.
snippet of the show, and it was absolutely amazing. A great speaker, a great storyteller. Really enjoyed it. I know the new show coming up is going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Great, Joe.
And
I was hoping that somebody would call in and remind us about that, because when you
Right.
came to attend the Columbia
Yeah,
one,
the Columbia thing at the time.
oh man, you had us. When you left, it was like, no man, is it over?
Yeah.
Come on, Rich, do another. Come on, Rich, do
And
10 more minutes.
all he had was a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, that was
exactly
it.
right. In fact, there's a picture of that still.
think
We
we have
still
that,
have it
yeah.
on Facebook. Yeah, we should bring that picture back out.
yeah, it was just amazing. He really entertained everyone, and I really enjoyed it. It was
Thank you so much,
nice.
man. I never get tired of hearing it, of course. Neither of us do, you know.
I think Danny played at that event too. His brother Danny was playing music.
That same one?
It was not the.
No, I think
this was a Tampa Natives.
Tampa
event.
Natives,
yeah.
Where you just came out.
Just came out and did it, yep.
And came out and did like 10 minutes.
Right.
It was part of the I Am Cuban Sandwich.
I
It was.
think,
It
it was part of
Do
the
you remember
Cuban
the
Sandwich
scene it
about
was?
the Boys Club.
It was
Yeah,
about the
one of
Boys
the Boys
Club.
Club.
No,
Yeah,
it was
Ybor City Boys
about
Club.
Sky King.
Yeah. It's a crowd pleaser.
That was
It's really
amazing.
great.
Do you remember Joe Sky King?
I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Penny.
That was beautiful. Skipper, thanks so much for calling and reminding us of that wonderful moment.
Give us your number,
Give us your
though.
lucky number.
Number 3, guys.
Number
you haven't
3, as
changed.
always, Babe Ruth. All right, thank you, Skipper. Take care. And listen, if you don't win the tickets, buy some, man, because we all got to be there to support this show.
I agree.
Nice talking to you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Bye-bye. Oh, that's right, Sky King.
I forgot about that. That's great.
And the Ybor City Boys Club.
Yeah,
Got
what a
another
treat
caller?
for me, you know, to be doing it in the Columbia and everything.
Oh,
you know.
absolutely.
Oh,
And
my
the-
goodness.
And
Well-
the Lucia room.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. Yep.
And the Columbia again. That's another place that holds a special
Oh.
meaning for
Yeah.
all of us, man.
Right.
Because either you knew somebody that worked there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. It was you
part
had
of us.
you had parties there. You know. Oh my goodness.
Tons of memories.
We're lucky guys.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
Very.
Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Natives Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Chick Nunez from Tampa, Florida.
Hey, Chick Nunez from Tampa, Florida. What's going on, Chick?
I was sitting here watching the show and looking at Richard and you and talking about what he's doing. And I remember when he and I and the Deacon, that's Deacon Dan Permuli, used to hang out together when we were young and dumb.
How about that? Now, so put this in perspective for us, man. I mean, what year? You're talking about the late 60s, maybe early 70s?
I'm talking about early 70s,
Yeah.
20, 21. I'm not old enough to be able to go to Dino's.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And as the story goes, listen, I hope you don't mind me telling the story.
Okay.
That I wasn't there, but Danny was telling me that.
Just try to keep it G-rated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PG.
You were Dino's.
PG-13.
3 Dog Night had come into town to play that night, and you went to the restroom, and you came out, and you told Danny, you're not going to believe it, man. And he goes, what? He goes, oh, you're standing next to the guy, the lead singer from 3 Dog Night.
I just told Mary Ellen that story about a week ago.
Oh, no way!
I
Really?
swear.
Oh, no way!
She goes, are you kidding? How come you remember? I said, a guy from 3 Dog Night? I'm not going to remember?
Oh, you're standing at the urinal.
That's hilarious, Chick. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, what a great
I
story.
just told my wife that story. It's fun.
Oh, that's good.
hilarious.
That's good
No, you
stuff.
almost have to take a double take because you've been drinking or whatever,
Yeah.
and you turn around.
That's
and you-
amazing.
Jesus Christ.
It can't be possible.
But Dino's was like that, you know?
Anyway,
He
Richard,
brought
what I
people
want to tell you
in.
is I'm
Yeah.
proud of you because I knew you before you got started.
Right.
And you know, when people see us now at our age, right, and they look at you and they think you were always this way. No, you were not always this way. And then to see where you were back then, what you've become, and it's just very cool to see how you progress in what you're doing.
Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, brother. It's really great. Good to hear your voice, and I hope to see you sometime soon. It's
Yeah,
great,
we will.
great meeting your younger brother here. Really, really nice.
Come out to the show, man. Come out to the show on June 20th. Let's see if we can pack the house, man. Let's fill every seat.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
Give us your lucky number before you go.
Come on, man. 12.
Of
Well,
course.
okay.
Joe Namath. All right, buddy. Thanks
All
for
right, Chick,
calling.
thanks,
Appreciate
man.
you
Thanks,
sharing
Chick.
that story with us.
All right, take care.
All righty, bye-bye.
Man, the things people will remember about you. It's incredible.
Well, of course.
I didn't
Well,
even do that.
Some things.
Sticks in the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
It
Some
really does.
special, those.
It's odd, or it's outlandish, or whatever, or just
You just can't forget certain
that's
things.
funny, man. That's-
The story that I tell him, a good friend of mine, the day we were riding our bikes down the street in front of the house, and we're sitting on the porch, and we're taking turns doing like Evel Knievel things, trying to ride on the back wheel and all that. We're just and my friend came down the street, barreling down the street, and he went to pulled up on the back and I'm gonna ride, and when he did, the front tire came off of the bike. And
Straight down?
when the forks came down, bro, it was
man.
escándalo because he went over the front.
Over the handlebars.
Really?
And on the street, it was bad.
wow.
But like yesterday, I closed my eyes and I still laugh, and we laugh now. We can
Right.
laugh now
Sure.
because it wasn't funny then because
No.
he came out of it the worse for wear.
Yeah.
But those are the kinds of things that just there. They'll be there until the end.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
That's not going anywhere.
Yeah. We'll be 90 on the bed laid out.
I have one of those.
You remember
still.
that day?
Yeah, those memories, bicycle memories. Yeah, I think we've all faced that.
Bicicletas,
Yeah.
man. They were
Oh, yeah.
semi-dangerous if you weren't careful.
We were dangerous.
Yeah.
The bicycles were okay.
We did
Kids
crazy
on the back.
We did crazy things growing up in
Yeah.
Tampa, didn't we?
Yeah.
And there was we didn't have the parents over looking over us and telling us, every 2 minutes to be careful.
No.
We didn't have the Schwimmflugels or the bumper seats.
Came home when the street lights came on.
That's about it. Or when you got hungry,
You got hungry, yeah.
Or if your father had a whistle or your mother had a scream, un grito, you know what I mean? Ah! And you hear, I gotta go, man, I gotta go. It must be getting dark. Dinner's ready, I gotta go.
Come in!
Unbelievable.
Wow, what was your favorite thing doing growing up in Tampa? Like mine was fishing. I love to go fishing.
Yeah,
I
great
love
question.
fishing.
Fishing,
Was that
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Big deal for me. Now, of course, you couldn't do a lot really in Tampa, although I did fish in the river and stuff. And then even I don't know if you guys are familiar, Robles Park and Reagan's Park.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, both of those ponds had fish, bass even in some of them, which is cool. But we used mostly hand line then, which is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
So it was, how elemental is that?
I know.
Yeah.
Not even
Come
a
on,
cane
man,
pole.
that's maybe RFD
Cane
stuff.
poles are great too though, when you can do that. I really love that. It's really fun.
That's a good memories though, huh?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And you could get around anywhere, and it was pretty safe. And
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you had a
That's
bike
great.
or a friend with a bike, and somebody would tow you on the bike. Get on the handlebars or whatever. You'd end up 2
Yeah.
miles from the house, 5 miles from the house.
Oh, we roamed far afield
That's
in
what
those
I'm
days, didn't we?
saying.
Oh, yeah.
Man, really?
You could.
Yeah.
You could.
Yeah.
My grandma used to say they don't kidnap poor people's kids.
And you didn't think anything
So
of
don't
it.
worry about it. Yeah.
No, you didn't think anything of it, man. No, because
Yeah.
we all remember the day that Diana de la Paz was
I still remember that.
kidnapped
Yeah.
kidnapped from the Eckerd drugstore right there by Cash and Carry.
Cash and
And
Carry.
but that was really
It was such a
really
big deal. It's ingrained in our
scandal
brain.
and
Yeah.
shook us all up because those things didn't happen.
Didn't happen. That's why it's
No.
imprinted on
shock.
us so much, because
Yeah.
it did not happen.
Right.
We were
The shock
just,
of us.
we were a little small hamlet, really, a small town,
Right.
maybe a city, maybe.
Yeah.
But we didn't even think of ourselves as that.
No.
We were a little pueblo, man, a little
Yeah.
pueblecito.
Right.
And everybody knew everybody.
We were one big neighborhood.
That's
That's what we
true.
were.
It's so great. Yeah.
The backyards,
city.
were, they had fences in them, only to keep our critters in our yard.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we didn't need
you
them.
talked all over.
Yeah,
it
you
all
talked
the time.
over, you jumped the fence half the time
Yep.
to play with your neighbor in the back.
Right.
Did everyone have chickens then too, like they do now?
Well, no, but you know what? The chickens are coming back.
Yeah,
man.
that's what we
I
talk
know,
about all the time when we
yeah.
read
The
over
gallos
people,
of
we see them all the
Ybor
time.
are all
Yeah.
over the place, and
Really.
people now are starting to have chicken coops in their
Yeah, use
backyard.
eggs, man.
So it wasn't
Eggs.
like that when you were kids?
No, not really.
Not many, some,
We
but-
were in the transitory period from
Different era.
rural. Dun, 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 dun. We were now city
Suburban.
mice.
Yeah.
We were city mice.
Sure.
But now the trend is kind of retro.
Right.
It's going back.
Yeah.
Why not? Because we know what's happening with our food supply.
Oh,
so
yeah.
grow your own garden.
Right.
People have their own gardens
We
now.
got gardens going.
There you
It's
go.
great.
Good deal.
All organic all the time.
Yep.
Hey, we can take one more caller if you want to get in on this drawing. And listen, if not, the odds are pretty good for the fellows that have already called in. 813-977-6800. How much time we got left back? I don't want to run over. Oh, great. We got 6 minutes. So, Richard, we've been driving the conversation, and we've got 3 pictures left, you said, Becky? You want to show the pictures right quick?
Yeah.
Oh, let's please do. We can comment on the pictures, and that'll probably take us to the end
Yep.
of the show.
And
Oh,
There it is.
that's the original poster that we put together.
Close up.
with Jimmy.
Jimmy the
Yeah.
Pump.
And I remember we hung this at La Segunda one time because we'd gone there plenty of times. The Mores were really nice to us
Wonderful.
throughout the whole thing. And there's a woman who works all the time. I don't remember her name, but wherever you are, we love you. She's really sweet. And I showed her that thing.
Sheila?
And
Is it Sheila, the one that's been there for 40 years?
she's a little older.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
been there for 40 years.
And I showed her this picture. She goes, "Oh, I put butter on and eat them up."
No. Roll them in cinnamon, baby. You know what? It's beautiful.
It is. It's really
Next
great.
photo.
That's great.
And that's me from the show. I am a Cuban Sandwich. And in fact, this was at the Creative Loafing Space at the time. And this is, I believe, you can see the Cuban bread right there.
Right there on the table, yeah.
Yep. So I'm probably maybe getting ready to show exactly how to build a Cuban sandwich right around this time.
Action-packed, brother, because you're a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah.
You really don't stop, but that's part of the show.
Yeah, that's part of the whole deal. This is a promo shot that we did right in front of the Columbia. Nice picture.
Great
It's really,
photo.
really cool. And it's a great feeling there at that place. You're always feel good leaning
It's
up
home,
against
man.
it.
It's home.
Yeah, that wonderful tile work there and everything. Really, really
And
nice.
speaking of Cuban sandwiches, did you go to the Silver Ring quite a bit?
Oh, yes.
Over the years?
Yep, sure.
Watch you make the
Angelo
sandwiches.
Cacciatore?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Watch
In
Speedy.
fact, Speedy that was my favorite, Silver Rigs. My dad and Speedy were really good friends. He delivered milk there, so he knew all those guys. But you always have a little bit of connection with somebody. So he really did there, and I felt, and it was cool how they were all set up just a little different. You know what I mean? Silver Ring had the bar and the whole thing, and I always thought that was really
those chairs,
Yeah.
those tazas that made that
Right.
sound.
And in the window, the sandwiches all
yeah,
piled
all
up.
piled up like they had
Like
that
a- like a
picture.
pyramid,
I love
remember?
that fantastic picture.
Oh,
The guy
that's
was making
great.
them in the window.
Hey, we want to make sure that we get our winner tonight. So Becca, we're about less than 5 minutes to go. 3 minutes to
Wow,
go.
we better hurry.
Mary Ellen, if you'll do us a favor, darling, and reach that bag of bolita balls there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix them up here just so everybody at home knows that this is on the up and up. We have certified our bolita game with the City of Tampa Police Department and received the blessing.
And the mayor.
Received the blessing from our mayor, Bob Buckhorn. So, Richard, if you'd like to do the honors, that's
Mary
great.
Ellen?
Mary Ellen, come on, get in there, darling.
She's got a nice hair
There
hand.
we go. There we go. Closest to without going over, Stevie.
I can't see. 52?
Let's see.
52.
52. Okay, closest to without. This will be easy. Closest to without going over, and the winner is number 37, Robert Gonzalez.
There you go. There you go.
Congratulations.
Hey, all right.
The first caller.
Well, and if my folks are out there watching, and not my folks as in my parents, our folks as in our fan base.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little strategy now. Whenever it's the closest to without going over. So if somebody picks a number like 37, and then the other numbers are like 3 and 12 and 13, somebody's got to come in with a 75. See what I mean? It's not your favorite number.
Yeah.
You're playing the strategy here.
Yes.
Like
So
the
that
Price is Right.
75 would have trumped everything from 37. You see?
Yeah.
And you can't go over 75 now, can you? Whoopsie! I just gave it away.
Bid on the showcase, right?
So what did they won? Tell them what they won, Johnny. Well, they won 2 tickets to go see Ybor Stories.
Yes.
And you know what, Robert, you are the perfect one to have
It's
won
true.
this
Yeah,
because
that was good.
you call us every week. We know your passion. We share your passion, and we know
He
how
really
important
does.
it is for you to be there with us that night. ADA friendly the building is. So,
Yep.
hey guys, we got about 2 minutes to go. Anything you want to say? Party words beforehand? You want to promote the show
Mary
one
Ellen?
more time, Mary Ellen?
We're thrilled to be here. We love what you guys do.
Really.
You love the
It's a
history
treat.
like
And
we do.
yeah.
And
We had some fun, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, we
that's
did.
the
We
main
did.
The hour
thing.
flew by.
Yeah,
But we're going to
that's
do it
cool.
again.
Oh, yeah.
We'll come
Okay.
back post show
It's
and
not
give
going to
a.
be 5 years this time, though.
No, we'll be that.
Okay.
Don't be that.
No,
day.
no.
We had an
We have to
idea.
talk. We got.
the next time you guys could act out parts to the show.
We thought about that.
Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
So
Come
we'll
on.
bring something,
Yeah.
especially like the
That'd be interesting.
nickname rap. You remember the nickname?
Oh,
rap?
we had
That
a
was
show
funny.
dedicated to
In fact,
nicknames.
Cheek's in there. He's in there, so you know.
And some
Oh,
guy
that
named
would be
Gup. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody named Gup. We'll get to that story too.
Okay.
All right,
That'd be
listen. Next week on the show, we're hoping, fingers crossed here, ladies and gentlemen, that we get Harry Smith. Harry Smith, for those of you that lived anywhere in Tampa, remember from anywhere the 50s to the 70s to the 80s, Harry Smith's gym down there on Horatio in South Tampa.
Smith Health
So
Studio.
we're working with Harry right now, getting his pictures together, and hopefully we'll be in studio with him next week.
And I worked out there.
Who
years
didn't?
ago.
Who didn't?
I think we all did.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just offer this. Thank you so much,
you, guys.
Richard. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much, Mary Ellen, for doing what you do. We love you guys, and you guys keep up the great, great work.
Thanks so much.
Okay?
And you too.
Thank you.
Keep preserving
Okay.
our history.
Thank you.
All right.
We promise to do that. Let me just say on behalf of everybody that puts this show together, especially Miss Becky Yatta, who's back in the seat tonight directing our show. Thanks, Becky. We love you. Sally for answering our phones tonight, and Erica for working our soundboard. We just want to say on behalf of Mary Ellen, Richard, and Steve, salud,
Salud.
and happy,
Happy
days.
days.
We love you, Tampa.
See you next week.
Salud.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
There it is.
Salud.
Back when we were younger and everything seemed new, we used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleepy days, long summer nights, going anywhere we please, with love that I could call my own, love that I've always known, a city that I call my home, a home from which I never roam. This love affair was meant to be. I love her and she loves me. I remember Tampa, oh, she remembers me. She remembers me. I remember, yeah, yes I do. Oh, oh. Tampa native. Tampa native, can't you see? I will share my story with you to preserve its history. Yeah. All right now, don't forget. Thursdays, 7 p.m. on TBCN, home of the Tampa Natives Show.